What is up? Gear Squad, Chingear here, bringing the video. And today, this is right off the cuff, right off the top of my head. And I just want to put this out there. This has nothing to do with video games, but it's something that has to do with me. And hopefully has to do with everybody. I do just want everybody to know that if you are here for the games, if you're here to talk about gaming, I have an awesome update coming up about Blacklight Retribution. And I am going to do videos soon about Apex Legends, the new free-to-play Battle Royale game by ReSpawn. Very excited about that, as well as making a video about Realm Royale. If you guys haven't seen me broadcasting, if you guys haven't seen me streaming on YouTube, definitely make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you remember to hit the notification button so you guys know when I'm streaming. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the topic at hand. And it's going to start by talking about Liam Neeson. So if you guys don't know who Liam Neeson is, he is a famous actor, and he's probably most well known for the movies where he saves his daughter from getting kidnapped.
If you let my daughter go now, that'll be the end of it. I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. You
guys probably know those movies. They're very, very popular. The first time I ever saw Liam Neeson was in the movie Batman Begins.
You are just an ordinary man in a cape. That's why you couldn't fight injustice, and that's why you can't stop this train. Consider to think about stopping it.
And incredible trilogy of the Nolan movies of Batman. But anyway, context aside, I've always really liked Liam Neeson. I thought his voice was really cool. You know, I really liked his attitude. I just thought he was a really cool guy. And if you guys don't know, basically some information has come out where, I don't even want to say some information has come out. He did an interview. He did a straight up interview where he told a reporter that when he was younger, decades ago, he basically had a friend, a woman friend who was raped. And sorry, like trigger warning, I guess, if you guys, haven't heard about this, you can click off of this if this isn't the kind of material you want to listen to. I just had to get my thoughts and voice out there, and hopefully this conversation helps somebody, or maybe we can at least start a conversation or a dialogue. I know a lot of you guys are young. Some of you guys are older. Some of you guys are, around my age, 25. Some of you guys are older, younger, but I still think this is a good conversation to have. So Liam Neeson had this woman friend that was apparently brutally raped by a black man.
I remembered an incident nearly 40 years ago where a very dear friend of mine was brutally raped.
And the story goes that Liam Neeson said that, he heard about the story, and that was one of the first things he asked. What was the color of this man? What was the race of this man? What was, give me more information, particularly about his race, right? Particularly about the man's race or color. And again, he learned that the person was black.
My immediate reaction was, I asked, did she know who it was? No. What color were they? She said it was a black person.
And so he told a story where he went to black neighborhoods. And this was not in the US, by the way, I believe. But he went to black neighborhoods and wanted to get into fights. So he took the information, he took his frustration from hearing that a black man raped his, woman friend, which I assume was white. He went to black neighborhoods and basically would go to bars and stuff like that to, basically look to pick a fight with a black bastard. And that's the wording he used. He basically was saying that when he was younger, he, in his brain, said, I want to go and find a black bastard and kill him because of how frustrated I am.
Gone up and down areas with a cosh, hoping I'd be approached by somebody. I'm ashamed to say that. And I did it for maybe a week, hoping some black bastard would come out of a pub and have a go at me about something, so that I could kill him.
And so, basically he retells this story, and he tells the reporter, after 2 or 3 or 4, many times of me doing this, I caught myself and realized I am being an idiot. This is ridiculous. What am I doing?
It's horrible, horrible when I think back. But I did that, and I've never admitted that to it. I'm saying it to a journalist. God forbid.
Holy shit.
It's awful. But I did learn a lesson from it when I eventually thought, what the fuck are you doing, you know?
And so he recognized what he had done, and he stopped, and he felt shameful for it, and he realized that this was bad, you know? Now, he didn't really explain why he thought it was bad, and so there's been a huge debate. There's been a big conversation on Twitter. There's been a lot of shouting on Twitter about, you know, basically Liam Neeson's a racist, right? And I just wanted to put my 2 cents out there. I learned this by listening to Philip DeFranco. He's a YouTuber that talks a lot about the news. I mean, he's a news YouTuber, so he talks about the news. And he didn't really give his 2 cents that much on, he didn't really give his thoughts and opinions on this story too much, but he actually also gave information about Terry Crews. And if you guys don't know Terry Crews, also really one of my favorite actors. He's not one of my favorite actors, but I really like him. First time I ever saw Terry Crews was in Everybody Hates Chris.
With my father on the way to docks, I was a dead man working.
We need to talk.
But I always liked Terry Crews, and Terry Crews has been going through a lot in the media recently, but he, not necessarily negative, but he's just been in the media a lot. And on Twitter, he basically said, you know, Liam Neeson, or he said humans are capable of indespicable evil or something like that. And Liam Neeson is describing the fork in that path, right, in those roads, where he can either be evil or not. And he was saying that that's what Liam Neeson was describing.
Terry Crews responded on Twitter. He quote tweeted the Independent article and wrote, "I believe that every person on earth is capable of the greatest good or unspeakable evil. Liam is just describing his fork in the road."
And you know, tons of people came out and said, "Oh, you're terrible, Terry Crews. Why are you defending this guy?" And Terry Crews was responding. He was like, "I'm not defending him. I don't know why you're saying that. I'm just explaining. I'm giving a description. I don't defend him at all, but I think that this is what's happening." So anyway, with all of that information, I wanted to go ahead and put my 2 cents, my thoughts on Liam Neeson, Terry Crews, and the situation. And to me, people are saying that Liam Neeson is a racist. And first of all, I think people need to like slow down before they start like I don't want to say people need to slow down when they start calling people racist, but I think people need to calm down when someone is being called a racist. As in, like, what Liam Neeson did was racist. There's no question about it. He said, oh, a black man did something, so now I'm going to take that anger and put it on other black people. So, you know, a black man who's minding his own business or maybe gets upset about something or, you know, gets provoked, gets into a fight with Liam Neeson wants to kill him because he's black, and a black person who may have nothing to do with the situation with the woman should just die because he's mad.
Even though it happened decades ago, the hurt of an innocent black man knowing that he could have been killed for something he did not do because of the color of his skin. No.
That's racist, right? That's racist. That's like racism. It's like that's some quality racism right there. But what I thought was really interesting about that was that Liam Neeson is the one that told us, right? Liam Neeson said, he didn't say I was being racist, and I wish he did, because he went on Good Morning America TV show where he basically, you know, had a conversation with the woman that hosts Good Morning America, and he basically was like, you know, which is a black woman, by the way, and he was like, yeah, I think we need to recognize that there is racism, that there is bigotry.
To open up, to talk about these things, you know. We all pretend we're all kind of, you know, politically correct. Mm-hmm. I mean, in this country, it's the same in my own country too. You sometimes just scratch the surface and you discover this racism and bigotry. And it's there. And
I want to believe, and even if I don't believe this, or even if this isn't the case, I think there's a lot to be learned from what he's saying. People are racist. People are bigots. People are prejudiced. People do things to make other people feel bad. Things in people's heads go off, and it's not rational. And that was racism, and he recognized it, and then he stopped acting on it.
Until I caught myself on. And it really shocked me, this primal urge I had It shocked me and it hurt me.
To me, that is a lesson learned that everyone should recognize. And that, to me, that's like kind of the end of the story. I don't really care that much about Liam Neeson. He's an actor. I'm scared to say just an actor because he is an influential person. But the only influence to me that he just made was he said that I was racist once and now I'm not, basically. Or I did something and I didn't like it. To me, that was the only thing he said. So if someone who is impressionable, who likes Liam Neeson, is watching that or listening to that, then all they learned was that you shouldn't be a bad person. Is when you have bad thoughts, you should recognize it and stop. That's to me what the story was. So anyway, that's how I feel about Liam Neeson specifically. I don't have like really intense thoughts about him. I'm not gonna go boycott his movies. I'm not gonna go do all of that. And props to you if that's what you want to do. That's fine. I'm not gonna sit there and trash talk people who really feel that strongly about it. I think that's fine. I would never give props to anyone that's sending him death threats or just being straight up rude. That's a little confusing to me. I think that's weird. I think when someone comes out and says I made a mistake, we should never then be worse to the person. I think the person should maybe not be like celebrated for what they did, but we should at least acknowledge the fact that it's the right thing to do to acknowledge their mistake. That's part one. And I hope that that's helpful. And I wanted to, with that said, I wanted to add some more context. And this is a bit of a story. I was on the train the other day, and I got on the train. The train is very, very busy in San Francisco, and there were these four young black kids on the train, and I didn't have any like particular feelings about these kids when I got on. I didn't have any particular feelings about anyone when I got on. I had my headphones in, and I saw this white man standing and holding on to the railing, and he's older, maybe past his 50s, maybe not though. Maybe he was in his 40s. I can't really tell. And he's standing over a chair or a seat that has two spots on it. And one of the younger black kids, and these kids were like young, like they were in middle school, maybe young high school. But this kid was sitting on the seat, and his legs were up on the second seat. And his three other friends, all were sitting next to other people. And he would not take his feet off of the chair. And the guy was like, "Oh, come on, man, please." The white man who's standing is like, "Please, let me sit down, man. Let me sit down. I'm tired. I just want to sit down." And the kid's like, "Nah, man, screw you, old man." And he was cursing him out. The kid was really cursing him out. He kept saying the N-word a lot. He kept, cursing the guy out. I don't want to repeat all the stuff he said. I mean, it was mean. It was nasty. It wasn't nice. And even though the train door closed, a black woman saw this outside of the train. She knocked on the train door and looked at the kids. And if you guys have ever seen pretty stereotypical angry black woman, she was like, mom specifically, she was like, get up, don't give that seat up to that to that man. She was angry at the kids for not being respectful, basically, not because they were black and not because he was white, but because it's respectful to let somebody sit in a seat and you're being disrespectful putting your legs up. I mean, it's just disrespectful. I don't care if you're white, black, or whatever, you're being disrespectful. So anyway, basically, the kid did not let the man sit down. I got into an argument with the kid. And that is probably a story for another time. And if you want to hear that, you feel free to comment down below. It was a little fiery, but, it was these four kids who were all being really rude to this older guy. And I basically told the guy, don't even worry about it, man. Like, you're not going to win this. These kids got an attitude and they don't want to give you the seat. The kids are being rude. They're being disrespectful. And I think what I thought in that moment was, let's go ahead and pretend those kids become older. I hope that at some point they recognize that they were just being rude, right? And to me, when Liam Neeson stands up and says, I was being terrible that day, I hope that other young people also, younger people and older people sit there and go, oh, I was also being terrible. I remember this one time where I was being terrible. One of my ex-girlfriend's one of my ex-girlfriend's entire family was racist. I hope that they listen to Liam Neeson and they go, oh, I was being racist too. I hope that that's the case. I hope that those black kids that were on that train are able to find a role model somewhere, and that role model can say, I've made mistakes, and they can go, oh, I made a mistake as well. I hope they don't feel like they won that day when they were able to make that man stay standing, because the one kid, not even all 4 of them, the one kid got to put his legs up. I hope that someone can teach that kid that that wasn't nice, that it was disrespectful. I hope that people can learn from Liam Neeson and understand that they're racist. For me, that's all I hope for. I'm not going to keep diving into that because there's also the Terry Crews part that I wanted to get into. I agree wholeheartedly with Terry Crews. He's not really even making any statements outside of the fact that he was trying to describe what he thought was happening with Liam Neeson. Is that Terry Crews, once again, said that basically that Liam Neeson was describing the fork in the middle of the road of being evil or not. That you have thoughts that are wrong and you can decide, is this the route I want to go down or not, right? If you're a cop and you see a black person and you start to profile and you start to be rude and you start to think that, well, because this guy's black, maybe he's doing this, that, and the other thing, you're at the fork. And hopefully that cop can think about Liam Neeson, what Liam Neeson said, and go, oh, it's that moment again. You know what I mean? Like, these are the types of times where I just wish anyone who's ever been racist can just say that they're being racist. Anyone that's ever been sexist can just acknowledge that they were being sexist. There are so many liberal folks out there who act like they're like pure of heart, that they're the best people in the world. There are people out there who are conservative, who are like, well, I'm conservative, but I've never been racist. Just recognize your flaws. We have flaws. It's okay. And just be open and honest about it, particularly before you get into a position of a ridiculous amount of power, because it's going to come back to bite you and people are going to tell you to drop. People are going to tell you to leave. And at that point, yeah, maybe you should, because there are people who aren't that bad. There are people who are racist and not Liam Neeson racist, where they wanted to go kill a black man. Like that, like he was being a little crazy. So anyway, I just wanted to put my 2 cents out there about this. I didn't want this to be like a super long video or anything like that. I just wanted to kind of like start a conversation and put my thoughts out there. I hope my family watches this. I hope some of my friends watch this. Again, I know this isn't gaming oriented, but I just wanted to get my thoughts out there. And I'm up to discussion, by the way. Like I'm not sitting here trying to say that like, yeah, I don't really feel like I was making any controversial like thought. I don't know. I don't think I said anything like super controversial. I think I was just stating facts and then putting my opinion out there. And again, I think my opinion is pretty low on the controversial scale. But if anyone wants to have a conversation about it, feel free to hit me up in the Discord, the comments. If you're a friend or family, text me, message me, whatever the case may be. I just this really hit me for some reason. I just wanted to say something about it. So anyway, thank you so much. I hope you guys have something to think about. Outside of that, I'll see you guys online, and of course, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. What a weird outro for this video.